Okay, so good afternoon. My name is Lisette Alvarado. I work here at the Office of International Education and Programs. I coordinate programs to Latin America as well as all of the SUNY Oswego third-party provider programs with CAPA, the Global Education Network. And those programs are primarily in Europe, China, as well as in Argentina, in South America. So today with me are two returning students who studied abroad in our CAPA Center in London, and they will be talking to us about their study abroad experience in London as a global city. So I'm going to ask each of them to introduce themselves and then to also tell us when they decided to study abroad in London and why.
Hi, I'm Brianna Lynn. I studied abroad in London through Kappa in spring 2020. And I wanted to study abroad to see more of the world. And yeah.
Hi, I'm Carla. I am majoring in communication and minor in sales. I studied abroad in London in fall 2019, and I studied abroad because I just wanted to learn more about other culture and see what's out there.
Thank you. So within the study abroad field, there are what we consider the top 4 or 5 obstacles for students going to study overseas. They are friends, family, fears, fit, and funds. These are known again as the main obstacles for students deciding to choose to study abroad or not. Within these 5, before you decided to study abroad, was any of them an obstacle for you?
I would say probably funding, family, because a lot of the main obstacle was just getting my parents to let me to go. And then I think that's it for the most part. Those were the main like hurdles I had to jump over before I got to London. But once I convinced my parents and applied for scholarships, we were ready to go.
I didn't really have any issue other than probably finance, and but then there were a ton of scholarship that were provided and applied to them, and I got some of them. So I didn't really have anything other than financial.
Thank
But
you.
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what was the best part of your experiences and if you had any challenges?
The best part of my experience was definitely just being able to explore and kind of like studying abroad in general taught me how like I am in charge of my future. So like I made the choice and then all of a sudden I was in London and I had all of these things in front of me, all of these new experiences. So I just feel like it like allowed me to it like opened my eyes to see more of people that like I would have never like met before, and it was an amazing experience.
For me, the best part is meeting the locals, and actually, I'm still friends with them. And I made friends with like the students that I was living in, but then after meeting few locals, I just kind of hang out with them more than um with my housemate, my flatmates. And I'm so glad I did because like now if I were to go back, like I have people that I know that could show me around and stuff like that. And for the only challenge that I have was, I think, because I live with 5 other girls, and I was not used to living with like 5 other people in one. And so just I think communication of how like things run in the house was our biggest issue. But other than that, that was that was it. like I still had an amazing experience. It just, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, those kind of things happen. I remember as an undergraduate, I decided to live with two of my, I thought were my best friends, which they are. Then we still stay in touch, but definitely it can be a challenge living with multiple
Hmm.
people if you're
Yeah.
not used to it. Mhm.
5 girls. I was like, oh my. I have brothers. I'm not used to living with, so I was like, oh my God, this is
Definitely. Can you tell us about the courses that you took and if you ended up doing an internship?
So I decided not to intern because I knew that Kappa, one of the great things that they do, the school week runs Monday through Thursday. It doesn't run on Friday. So I wanted to take the opportunity to travel Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which like Carla will tell you, she was probably allowed to travel too and go on trips.
Mhm.
Saturday and Sunday trips, but a lot of like my friends that interned had to work on Friday. That was like how it worked.
Mhm.
And so I ended up just taking classes that were more relevant to my major. I took marketing and advertising. I took confidence and presentation skills class. I took I think it was just like a typical communications public speaking class, and all of them were so cool because you were learning how to network in Britain, and your professors were British and they'd worked in the field, and it was just cool to like get a global aspect of my major and to see like how broadcasting operates overseas because I'm a broadcasting major. And yeah, my education that I got there was really great, and all my credits that I took, I had no problem. It was a seamless transition. I'm still on track to graduate, even though I studied abroad. So as long as you pick and choose which courses through Kappa that will like count toward your major, you'll have no problem.
For me, it's quite different because when I studied abroad, I had a totally different major actually, and I recently just changed my major. So at the time, I was an adolescence ed in English major, and when I studied abroad, I took mostly definitely literature-based classes such as Shakespeare, detective fiction class, and it was kind of like a mix of like classes that I need for that major and what I was interested in. So I took a lot of um like art-based classes such as modern art. I think that's the only class I took for art, yes. And then I did an internship and so I had to take a class for an internship. You have to take it. It's a requirement. And I know that for some students like, oh, like why do I have to take this? But honestly, that was me too. But it really helped me improve my skills on like how to be more professional at work, how to build your resume, like the cover letter, and I did my internship in Action and Hearing Loss, which is a nonprofit organization.
Mhm.
And like what Brianna said, I didn't travel much because I did have to work. So but I still like went out. I went to Paris and that was it. I still went on those some field trips that the Kappa provide. And I still had a great time even though like I had to do internship and I I was able to do what I wanted to do still. So yeah.
And just to add, I just remembered I took this global London as a global city class. So it was cool because every like week or so we'd have field trips at a place in London. So it was cool to like get to know, like my class was literally learning about London and how London like originated and the history of London. So I definitely
Mhm.
recommend taking that class. I think Kappa has it for like other cities as well. It's just like analyzing and exploring the city, and you should definitely take that.
Yeah, That is so true. It is the Global Cities program. So they do, like you said, every single location that CAPA has, they have a Global Cities course.
Quickly, for the modern art that I took, if you're into art, I think you should take that class because our class, we go to like every museum in London.
Mm.
And so, and I really love art, so that was really cool. I think that was probably like it's my favorite class because I get to like be out there and see different kinds of museums and learn about the history of like the art of, like London and how much it connects to like our art here. It's like, wow. So, yeah, that too, if you're into art.
Definitely.